Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. Listen, I was showing you how to make the bread sourdough, finishing it up today, so I couldn't show you the first part of this. What I had done was I had bought a package of pork neck bones, and I salt and peppered them, and I floured them with the used flour that I collect, which you already know, and I browned them, and then I poured I ran out of beef stock, so I'm having to use vegetable stock, and I poured it in after they were browned, and I cooked them until they were tender. Now I added edamame. They were in the pods, and I had to take them out of the pods, and I just added these to the meal that I'm making because it is damp and it is cool. So I want to make sure I have them right here. All right. And right now, I'm cutting up this onion. Well, what's left of it, because I've already used part of it. But I would have showed you the beginning, except that I had something else going with the video, which had to be cared for first. Now, I haven't added any seasonings yet because the stock is full of flavor. And I'm cooking the meat in it, which I've done. And it looks like I'm going to have a good flavor in this dish. This is almost like a stew, but not quite, because I'm going to thicken it up. And I will be putting it over rice, and I'm going to use brown rice. I'm just not bringing this to a boil yet till I get everything in, then I'll do it. The reason I usually don't salt and pepper meat before I brown it is that I know that pork doesn't have a lot of really rich flavoring that I'm looking for, so that's why I added it before I even browned it. Sometimes I do. Some cuts of meat have such flavoring that I don't want to interfere with it, and then I have other ones that I do want to interfere with. Because I had done it without adding the salt and pepper on the pork neck bones, and I noticed they were a little more on the flat side than I wanted last time I did them, so this time, though everything else had flavor, I said that needs to be salted. Well, most people will add potatoes if they start to make something like a stew, but because I'm serving it over rice, that's my starch. I don't have to worry about it. Because it is recommended, if you wish to stay healthy, that you should have one starch per meal. No, the color's really beautiful. So I try. I fail sometimes, but I do try to definitely make sure I get one starch per meal. Because I've seen a lot of restaurants, they serve you 3 to 4 starches. They serve you so much starch. You weigh it all out, the starch is higher than anything on the whole plate. into my vegetables. Well, never mind, I'll finish up here. I told you I've got a bag of vegetable peelings, and what am I doing? I'm throwing them in here that goes out in the yard. Oh well, have my days. And because the weather's getting cool, I might as well tell you, if you're catching a cold, it's because your body is acid. And the only way you can alkaline your body up and keep it more in harmony is during the winter months. Well, really you should be eating, vinegars make it, apple cider vinegar really makes it alkaline. Citrus fruits make your body alkaline. So if you're getting a lot of starch and a lot of meat, but you're not getting enough of those, and you cause an imbalance, you're going to get sick automatically. Now, if you are sick and you have a cold and you don't feel good, you should take a teaspoon. This is the only vinegar that does this, honestly. Take a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar and you put it in a cup of boiling water and drink it. Don't wait till it's cold, but don't drink it boiling hot either. But you know, when it's still quite warm, you drink it. Have it 2-3 times a day. And you continue doing this. This must be a very large cup. No. You do it until, you know, you're better, and you can continue and get your body alkaline. People ask me, how long am I supposed to do this? Well, for me, I continue taking it until I'm sick of it. Once I get sick of it, I know my body is alkaline, and that's how I do it. I haven't been sick, God, since before the pandemic. I haven't had a cold. I just haven't. I haven't even had a headache in years. So that's what I do. I keep a couple of bottles of apple cider vinegar around if we're going to get sick. One of my sons got cute and he said, boy, I really feel bad. I am going to take a whole tablespoon. Boy, did he scorch. I said, did that make sense? Did I tell you to take that much? But Mommy, I said it's a teaspoon in a cup of hot water. That's what the reading stated. Now, what makes your body acid are starches and sugars. They make you acid, but to alkaline the body, you need like lemons, limes, oranges, grapefruits, apple cider vinegar. Now, they'll alkaline you. Now, you would think it would be the opposite, right? But it's not. That's why I dehydrate oranges and grapefruits and lemons and stuff, and during the winter I can make drinks. It might be a sweet drink, but it's not a soda with sugar in it, and then I control how much sugar's in it. Now, if you have a sore throat, well, what's that combination? Honey and what else do I? Well, it was a recipe that we keep. Honey and apple cider vinegar? God, what was it? I can't remember offhand. Or you could grow Enchinilla if you have a cough. I found out, they said you could eat the flowers and the leaves and stuff, so I decided to eat the flower. I couldn't feel my lips. I couldn't feel my mouth at all. I said, well, so I went and I checked all the throat lozenges, the natural ones, and what do they have in it? Enchinilla. the plant. I thought, oh my God, so now I know where they get it from. I had a plant out in the yard. Seems my sons had an argument. Well, it got mowed down, so I have to buy another one. Oh my goodness. But the leaves, but the flower is actually the numbing thing. If you want to numb yourself, that flower will definitely do it. So that's what they use for the cough drops that you take that are natural, and you suck it and it feels soothing down there. That is actually a flower that has a numbing effect. And you saw when I put in carrots and garlic. Oh, and the beans were just that little frozen package. Okay, I'll just put one celery in this one. By the way, I'm winning you this dish. Okay, just letting you know. Stir it around, see how it looks. I'm thinking about producing mushrooms in here too. Dehydrated mushrooms, so I don't have mushrooms in the house. Yeah, I think I want to go get them, so I'll be back. Bring it back. This is going to come to a boil. Yeah, I ground up mushrooms as well as I dehydrated them because they're very versatile. They have trace minerals in them. Matter of fact, during the World War, canning and stuff was very limited, supplies, everything was rationed out. And they had to prove that mushrooms weren't just for flavoring, but they offered some sort of nutritional value, or it couldn't be canned and it couldn't be sold during the war. So they researched and found out that it has trace minerals in it, so that got them. So they were allowed to continue canning mushrooms because it was then acknowledged that it was nutritional. Adding some salt. Come on, Lou. Pepper. No, don't touch it. Now this is meat seasoning, which I have given you all the herbs that go into this. And I think I'm going to use this because it's got a lot of flavor and spices in it. I think it'll go well with all the stock and everything I put in here. And then I'm going to thicken it up. I keep on thinking that syrup that I used to make was, God, I think it was apple cider vinegar and honey put together. Let those vegetables cook, and then we will thicken it up. So let's get this going. You know it's going to taste good. Now I'm not using flour to thicken it up. I will put it on high and let it reduce, but I think I'm going to have to add a little bit of cornstarch into it to thicken it up to what I want. So I'm getting that ready. Okay, this is the way I'm going to cook the rice anyway. I'm going to cook brown rice, but you can cook whey in any one you want, but I'm using brown rice because I know there'll be vitamins which will help supplement this. I'm going to use my salt blend in this rice. New subscribers, this is a blend that I make. I did a video on how to make it. It's kelp and iodized salt together. And the reason I use it is to keep the sodium level down, because kelp has a high iodine, low sodium, but salt that you get in the store, regular store, you have the iodine, but you have such a high sodium, which causes swelling in you. You need a strainer. Brown rice takes a little longer to cook, but I could be a wild rice, a blend of rice, or parboiled rice, even white rice. If I, like I said, now white rice I only use for rice pudding. No, for all the other rices, I sit there and I cook them all the same way, but they have different times that they'll be done. I want to reduce some of that stock, so I am going to leave that boiling hard. So I can reduce it. So I get those vegetables. Yes, I know. I'm going to bring it to a boil though. When it comes to a boil, I will sit there and turn it down on simmer and cook it until all the fluid is gone. And then we'll test the rice. rice done and it won't be soggy or mushy. When my mother cooked rice, she used to put it in a big pot and cook it and then strain it. Then she learned how to bake it in the oven with butter and water in a certain ratio. And then I do it differently because health food rice and wild rice, whole new ball game. So I had to learn. So what I learned from my husband, because West Indians cook peas and rice together, this is where I learned how to do rice better. And I finally got it down is that I throw in, I used to throw in water, now I use stock, but same thing, I fill it to a certain point, and then I rinse the rice and put it in with the salt, which you saw me do. What I do is I bring it to a boil, put that, as soon as I know it's boiling, I turn it down to simmer, leave the lid on, and just let it cook until it absorbs the water. Then you test the rice, and if it's not quite done, you add just a little more water. You never add a lot, you just keep on adding a little bit. Let it, put the lid on, let it cook. Try a little bit again. If it's not done, according to it's done this, you add a little more water. If it's done, just turn it off. It's done, that's it. You have no water to strain or anything else, and the rice isn't clumpy together. It's nice, it's a very nice texture. So anyway, I've got to deal with this right now and I'll be back. Okay, the rice is boiling now. What I'm going to do is just turn it down on simmer and let it sit till that's all evaporated. Then I'll check it and I'll have you there with me. Okay, the carrots are done. Everything is done in there in this pork dish that I'm doing. Now I'm going to add some cornstarch to it, some water. Mix it up thoroughly, because if you have lumps, you'll end up with lumps there. So when you pour it in, pour it around. Don't pour it in one spot. Because if you pour it in one spot, it will just stick it there and nowhere else. So you pour it around and then stir everything. Turn your heat back on. It should thicken up nicely. There's only 2 of us eating this dinner. That's why I didn't make a lot this time, because one of them is out, and like he said, there'll be one packed lunch, but the other one is actually probably gonna have to eat out because he's doing some chores, and by the time we eat, he'll still be okay, here it is, just a different way of making it. Now we're going to check this rice, see how it's going. It's going along quite nice. We'll just let it continue cooking. I'll see you when we get further along. Okay, I just checked my rice. And I've got very little fluid left, so I am going to taste it to see if I'm going to have to add more. Oh yes. This is how you add it. I mean, I just got a film on the bottom of the rice. You see, I'm only going to add this much water. I'm not touching the flame, it's still on simmer. I'm going to put the lid on and let it cook some more. And I will check it when that water disappears. Okay, the water has been used up, and we're going to taste it again, stir it around, and taste it and see if it needs more water, or are you just going to dry it out a little more? Need more water. Like I said, I'm going to add this much. And just leave it alone. Put the lid on, just leave it alone and let it continue cooking. The rice is done. Mostly with the yogurt, so I have to be careful. Here's the rice. That's how I do it. Let it dry out, that's it. Take care and enjoy your day.